Three messages before we get started with today's show. First, where do you go to research domain name availability, look up current and historical Whois information, and find domain name sales history? Ever wonder which other websites use the same hosting resources that you do? DomainTools.com provides a complete picture of a domain name, from research to monitoring, and is trusted by more than 1 million members worldwide. Did I mention they'll monitor domain names for you for free? I just set up 2 domain name monitors myself today. Check them out, DomainTools.com. Second, do you have a domain name or website legal issue that you need help with? David Westlow provides legal representation for clients ranging from individuals to Fortune 500 companies in domain name transactions, whether they're disputes, trademark and copyright claims, or web hosting and content liability issues. As a former software and web developer himself, David Westlow understands your needs and goals. Whether it's a cease and desist letter, a UDRP case, or buying or selling one or more domain names, contact David Westlow at newmediaiplaw.com. That's newmediaiplaw.com. Finally, you know that being on page 1, the first page of results of a major search engine like Google or Bing, can drive exponentially more traffic than being on page 2 or worse. If you're a domain developer and you need immediate free advice to get your website to the top of the organic search results, will you go check out page2sucks.com? You heard me right, page2sucks.com. Here's your program. Hey everyone, my name is Michael Seiger and I'm the publisher of DomainSherpa.com, the domain name authority. Today we have something special. Instead of our Monday typical article that's written out in text, we're going to do a video interview with the Chief Technology Officer of a new software program that's recently been launched. Joining us is Brad Pineau. Brad is the Chief Technology Officer of Timeless Technologies, a full-service website design and software development agency based in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, Canada. Brad, welcome to the show. Let's get right into it. Brad, the name of your program, the name of your software is called Domain Hole. How did you come up with the name Domain Hole?
Well, we built the first tool, the expired domain search, a few years ago, and at the time we needed to find a lot of keyword-specific domain names for some affiliate marketing that we were doing. And at the time, there's a few options available, justdrop.com, deleteddomains.com, but those are paid services and didn't give us the flexibility we wanted. So we built a tool for our internal use, and we wanted to take it off our development server, put it up on its own live server, still for our internal use, but we wanted to find a domain for it. So, the first few days and weeks, I would search for a drop domain with the keyword domain in it. And domain is actually a very crowded space in the domain world. So, domainhole.com was the first one that came up that I kind of liked. So I grabbed that, and for the first little bit, that was the code name for the project, Domain Hole. When we decided to launch the site publicly, we took another look at the domain, came up with some other options. We actually just, in honor of, the code name Domain Hole, we decided to keep it like that. So some people hate it, some people love it. I personally love it myself. It's very brandable. It's easy to spell. It's short, and there it is.
Those are all good reasons to pick a domain name, so that's fantastic. And so you built Domain Hole out of a need that you had as a business, that you said, for affiliate marketing, and you have multiple areas of the Domain Hole service. You have the expired domain search, you have a name spinner, you have an instant availability check. Were these all areas that you had a need for, and that's why you developed them?
Yeah, searching for expired domain names was great now, but oftentimes you don't find something. So we developed these other tools to sort of help aid the task of finding a domain. So over the years we built these tools separately, and then we decided these are all great, they'd go well together. So we decided to launch them all together as a package that you see now in the main hole.
Great. And you recently, your service is currently in beta mode, beta operation, which means that you've done your alpha testing, you've had people use it, you've worked out most of the bugs, and now it's in beta, which means that it's live for people to use, but there may still be an errant bug now and again. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That's right. I mean, the services, especially the expired domain search, is very extensive on the database and on the server backend. So we wanted to make sure that we could scale properly. And throughout the beta, we've done a lot of optimizations that we found that we wouldn't have found otherwise. And we think the server is pretty stable now. So we decided to open it up to everyone. So anyone can get on right now.
Excellent. And who do you think would be your target user for Domain Hole?
Well, I think anyone who's looking for a domain could find the site useful. I think specifically any sort of domain investors or people in the affiliate marketing world, people who would register a dozen or 100 domains per year, I think they would find the most use out of it because they're the ones who are looking for specific keyword domain names.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about affiliate marketers. How might they use the system, and why would they want to register so many domain names?
Well, if let's say they're signed up with Commission Junction as an example, they find a product they want to promote related to cars. They might want to put up a dozen or 2 dozen sites with the keyword car in the domain name, and the car market is pretty crowded as well. So using the expired domain search or the other tools, they can quite easily find some domain names available that with the word car in it.
Got it. Okay, and so let's talk a little bit about the data. You said that you had an extensive database of expired domain names. Where do you get this data from, and how big is the data?
Well, we have a couple different sources actually that we're getting the expired domain data from. The reason we're using a couple different ones is because we want to make sure that we're getting everything and it's accurate and making sure it's going to scale properly. Every day, about 60 to 70,000 domains expire. So every day we compile that new list and import it into the database and make it searchable, do some optimizations on the data so it's nice and fast. And we're able to look right now 5 to 6 days into the future. So hopefully in time we're going to look even further, maybe a month ahead, but for now it's just 5 days into the future.
Okay, and is this every single domain name available, .com, .net, .tv, .cc, .io?
Right now it's just .com, .net, and .org.
Okay.
But it is on our to-do list to cover all the other TLDs.
Okay. And so every single night you're downloading 60, 70,000 domain names, .com, .net, .org, and you import them into your database, you clean it up, and then they're available for people to search against.
That's right.
Okay. All right. And your tool right now appears completely free. There's a login system. Is that required in order to use your tool, and will you charge in the future?
There's no plans to charge for the site. The login that you see there is useful for if you want to star some domains or set them as favorites. So throughout all the tools on the site, if there's a domain that you see that you think you like, you can hit that little heart icon, and it sets it as a favorite. So you can go back at any time and look at your list of favorites. As I said, that we plan on keeping it free. Where we do make money is on affiliate commission. So if someone finds a domain they like and they click on the domain and choose GoDaddy, for example, as their registrar, we would make 20% off the registration fee. So that's how we make our profit.
Excellent. And are you making a profit right now off the tool?
We're making a modest profit. It's looking good so far.
Excellent. Well, that's great that you're going to keep it free through affiliate links. So there are a host of other websites out there that allow people to search against expired domains or check for availability or generate ideas for names based on keywords. Why should people use Domain Hole?
Well, a couple of reasons. Number one, we package the tools up together as like a suite of tools, so you can quickly go from one tool to the other. As I mentioned, you can at any point you can star a domain or set it as your favorite, so you can refer back to it. Each of our tools does have sort of unique characteristics. So, for example, the expired domain search, we give a lot of flexibility as to the type of searching you want to do. Let's say you want your to find a list of expired domains that have 2 words in it or 3 words. You can even search for 1-word domain names, so like dictionary.com domain names type thing. There's the name spinner. We have some unique word lists. The instant availability check. We're working on covering all of the TLDs, like the country code specific ones. So that would be a nice place to sort of search all of the country codes. And then the name generator, it's just pretty cool for finding some brandable domain names.
Great. So you've got a lot of tools all packaged into one place.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's run through a couple of examples. I live up here in Seattle. We've got a vibrant tech startup community up here. Lots of companies we've got Microsoft up here, of course, and Amazon. It seems like every startup conference I go to in the Seattle scene, somebody from one of these large corporations has an idea. They're just looking to figure out how to start it up, do a proof of concept, try and find some customers. But of course, one of the most important parts is actually naming your company. And a lot of people make the mistake of naming their company and forming an LLC or incorporating without having a domain name. So it's important to make sure that you have a domain name that matches your company so that customers aren't confused. So oftentimes, a startup will actually need to find a domain name as one of their first steps once they've actually, come up with the idea for their business and they have customers in mind and they've done a proof of concept. So let's take a completely hypothetical scenario here. There's a company in Seattle. Let's call it a comments system for blogs that allows new organization system for blog comments. So it's not just the regular tiered blog comments. It allows, reordering of discussions. It allows, the best discussions to float up to the top. It also allows people to pull in comments from other blogs, from Twitter, from Facebook. It brings everything together whenever you post an article. Let's call it that. So the keyword is discussion. This hypothetical company is allowing a much broader discussion and allowing people to discuss things where they want instead of forcing them to come to the site, but it brings it all together. All right, so how would I use your tool?
Okay, so the first thing you might do is go to the instant availability check. Okay. So what this tool does is as you type a domain name into the input box, it'll instantly check if that domain is available in various TLDs. So you can quickly see if it's available. If you have some domain names in mind, that would be a good place to start. So you type each one and you see if it's available. You might have some other ideas that you type in really check real quick if it's available.
Okay, so I typed in discussion into your instant availability check. We saw the little Ajax-y spinning wheel over here, and it came back and tells us discussion.com is taken. That's what the red with the line through it means?
That's right.
Okay, so the .org's taken, the .net, everything's taken except for .cm. If I was in, where is that? I don't even know. And the .bz. So this domain name, unless I was looking for a domain name hack, doesn't look like it would be a good one for us.
Yeah, not surprising. Everything's taken.
Yeah. So let's say I wanted to sort of copy discuss, DISQUS, that company. If I type in discussion, it looks like the .com is taken, but I could go with the .org, .net, .me, .mobi. Pretty much everything else except for the .com is available. Okay, so I can't seem to find anything with any of the words, let's say, Brad, that I'm looking for currently available for hand registration. Mm-hmm. So what's my next step?
Let's try the name spinner next.
Okay, I'm going to go up here to the top to name spinner and click that.
So the way the name spinner works is you put in your keyword, so in this case discussion. You choose a